Hi everyone, welcome back to episode 8 of the MacroActive Town Halls. I'm Sarah Kelsey, product marketer at MacroActive and podcast host for the One Up project.
And I'm Sam Williams, Chief of Marketing. At MacroActive, we're on a mission to impact 10 million people's lives and aim to be the most valuable platform for fitness and wellness coaches, entrepreneurs, and creators.
Last week, you would have heard us discussing exercise program creation and how a manual process compares to an automated process. So this week we want to dive into the nutrition side of that for men trying to gain muscle. So still focusing on that type of client. I've brought in Laura, who is our fitness and nutrition specialist here at MacroActive. Let's chat with Laura now about how having a platform enhances your ability to provide personalized nutrition programs to your clients. Joining us today, Laura. So excited to have you here. So the first thing I wanted to talk to you about is what are some key elements that a trainer will consider when putting together a nutrition plan for someone, a male looking to bulk up or gain muscle?
Yeah, so the trainer's going to be looking at the customers, their weight, their height, their current activity levels, what they're kind of already doing in the gym. They're going to want to know a little bit about the customer's diet already, how much they're eating, how much they're moving, all of those kinds of things before they can kind of work out the requirements of that particular customer, how much of the calorie surplus they're going to need to put them in. All of those kinds of things.
Yeah, awesome. And how would a trainer, from your perspective, approach this if they were going to create that program manually themselves, like a PT in the gym would?
Yeah, so that would be like quite a heavy one-on-one session. I guess something like a video call or something, really discussing things with the customer. Like I said before, weight, height, their activity levels. And then it would be a matter of getting the customer potentially to take a food diary for a couple of days, finding out if they've got any allergies, foods they particularly like or dislike. So quite a heavy load of manual work at that stage.
Yeah, definitely. Sounds like it would be a lot of admin and probably quite, to get it personalized, it's going to take a lot of time for the trainer to do that as well. And what elements, I suppose, of having a platform do you think remove this need for the manual work that might be involved?
Yeah, the platform removes like all this manual stuff hugely. When the customer signs up, they let the trainer know their weight, their height, their age, and that works out their BMR, their basal metabolic rate. From there, they indicate their activity level, how active they are during the day, and that calculates the maintenance calories for that customer. And then the customer chooses their goal, whether they want to maintain their current weight, whether they want to build muscle, or whether they want to cut down. And from there, the platform can collate all this information to work out their requirements. The customer then selects what nutrition category they fall under. So whether it's vegan, vegetarian, pescatarian, and all these things are already set up in the back end, and they were set up by a dietitian, which is really cool. And all that stuff is already there, ready to go. And then the platform can just scale this based on what the customer requires, based on their goal and their personal weight, height, etc.
Yeah, it's awesome because I think the trainer can really trust this platform to personalize their program specific to their clients' requirements and also in line with what they would want, which is a huge help in that manual process as well. Like you said, it was set up by a dietitian, which is really great. So what impact do you think this has on the trainer overall?
Yeah, overall, it just means that the trainer can spend more time marketing what they're selling. They can get more customers, get more people joining them, and then they can also spend more time if they want to add a little bit of customization to the nutrition side of things. They can add their own recipes, they can add their own ingredients. They might be selling a bit of a higher ticket product where they're actually really individualizing customers' plans. They can go in and spend time doing that rather than sitting down, taking hours and hours to work out all these calculations, and then from there generate a meal plan for a customer. So really frees up time for a trainer.
And so what features within the platform can be used to support this type of client?
Yeah, so we've got some really cool features within the platform that are helpful. So a client who's wanting to gain muscle, bulk up, they probably already have a little bit of an understanding about nutrition. This kind of goal indicates they might already know a little bit about calories and stuff. So something that's quite cool is that the customer can see their macro split for the day. They can see their protein targets, their calorie targets, carbs, fats, etc. So it's really good for them to know how much they're wanting to get. That's quite a cool feature. And also with the food diary feature, this means a customer can record a meal that is not necessarily in their meal plan. It might be something they prepared earlier, or maybe it's leftovers or something like that. They can add in the macros, and what the platform will do, it will take away those macros from the rest of the day, if that makes sense. So if a customer's been generated 1,000 calories and they add into their food diary that they had a meal that was 400 calories, the platform will say that there's 600 calories remaining. So that's quite helpful for people that are wanting to meal prep and kind of eat the same thing a lot, or they're just not sticking exactly to the meal plan as a lot of people do.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely when you have those more specific goals, for sure. Cool. Thanks so much, Laura. Laura is so passionate about the nutrition side of things. She has a great perspective on what makes having a platform so beneficial, not only to your business, but to your clients as well. What did you think, Sam?
Yeah, I guess putting it in business terms, you need to have a system to actually be a business. And with online fitness and wellness programs, it's no different. Being able to readily understand your client's needs and automate the personalization is what makes a difference in how many people you can impact at scale. So we're keen to recap on some of those main points for you as well.
Yeah, and Laura touched on so many points surrounding the differences between a manual program creation and automated program creation. It's obvious that automated program creation gives you hours back to focus on growing your brand, for example. But I also think that it's really important to highlight that automation doesn't take away that level of control. It actually gives you so much more control, and your client will have a better experience overall as well.
Yeah, an example of this is when Laura mentioned that having a platform means that your clients are asked a controlled set of questions that determine their goals, and also a client's diet preference, whether it's vegan, pescatarian, etc., can easily be taken into account for. And that means that if you weren't able to offer this before, your clients have more flexibility and the reassurance of knowing that it was set up by a qualified dietitian.
Yeah, definitely. So two of the main impacts taking away from what Laura has just said is that ultimately you'll have the capacity to take on more clients, which means you can make a bigger impact with your programs. The next is a higher and easier level of customization, because you can access recipes already created for you, but you can also make them your own as well, having your own twist, but then still saving that time. At a base level, you know your client is always getting full customization, and you have the option to add your own flavor if you want to.
Yeah, Laura also touched on some features that would be particularly valuable for this type of client. The first is the client's visibility over their macro split. So working under the assumption that this type of client is more aware that they need a certain amount of protein in a day, for example, will be really beneficial to help them keep on track with their goals.
Yeah, and the next one she mentioned is the food diary feature, which is quite the game changer for sure, because it allows the client that flexibility to the nutrition plan, which of course encourages adherence, meaning that they'll stay consistent. They'll be able to track their food consistently and correctly, even if it is outside of their nutrition plan, which adds so much flexibility.
So next up is the news. Let's discuss some new information that we've been looking at around exercise, and in particular cold water swimming. And its effect on our health.
Yeah, as we all know, taking care of our immune system and being cautious around sickness has been an increasing consideration in recent years specifically. So what is exercise's role in that? It's commonplace that exercise contributes to your wellness overall, but how can you communicate this, I suppose, more specifically and then make it relevant to your clients as well? Well, the article I was reading mentioned research around exercise post-vaccine, either COVID or influenza, and these potentially increasing your antibody response without any side effects. So this is from the Brain Behavior and Immunity journal. So that's the official journal of Psychoneuroimmunology Research Society. This still requires a little bit of some further research to confirm, although it is an interesting link to how exercise can affect your immune system, and definitely something that you want to make sure your clients are aware of.
Yeah, it's one that I'm particularly familiar with in terms of the benefits of cold water swimming. So generally, cold water swimmers have stated that they suffer fewer infections with regard to respiratory system, like chest infections, from regularly taking in swimming in cold water. And this is from the International Journal of Environmental Research and Public Health.
Yeah, it's super important as well to have caution around cold water swimming, as there is a risk to exercising in extreme conditions like the cold. So we're going to leave a couple links to the articles below for you that outline kind of the studies and also the risks involved with that as well.
Yeah, I guess it's a little bit like the ice bucket challenge. You need to be a little bit cautious about just doing something that you're not used to.
Yes, exactly.
So next up, we're launching a new 100-day challenge, especially for the top 150 impact entrepreneurs who we partner with. Some of you will know what it means to be on the rugby first 15 at high school. Sarah, tell us about what you know about what it means to be on the first 15.
Yeah, well, I guess coming from a country where rugby is played at all levels throughout school, you could say New Zealand is the rugby capital of the world, and for both boys and girls, this happens, at all levels. The first 15 is the equivalent to being on the high school football team, for example. It means that you're amongst the best in your age group, elite, if you like, and that you gain access to some of the best coaching and the best opportunities to be part of the big leagues.
And so it's with this in mind that we're inviting the top 150 to try out for the MacroActive First 15. Qualification will be based on those partners who impact the most lives over a 100-day period. So this starts on the 21st of June, and the counter will be set to 0 then. And over that 100-day period, the league or the qualification for getting on the first 15 will be based on those who impact the most lives over that period.
Yeah, all the qualifying partners will access a new level of support, investment, and status as well, with the top 3 receiving a prize investment pool of $50,000 US.
And this goes live, as I mentioned, on the June 21st. Stay tuned for details over the next week from your client success manager.
Yeah, definitely something that's so exciting and we're all really looking forward to here as well. So in our next segment, we of course are coming back to what are we watching, and as you know, we have been covering an episode each week from the Playbook, A Coach's Rules for Life. So the next episode in the series highlights the career of José Mourinho. José is a very well-known football coach and almost personality in the world. If you've seen that TikTok trend, you will absolutely know his name. So he's one of the 5 coaches to have won the European Cup with 2 clubs, and later that same year earned the first FIFA World Coach of the Year award as well.
Yes, I guess one of the things that we've struggled with is precisely how to pronounce his name. I believe there's a difference between pronouncing José in Portuguese versus Spanish, as we've been instructed by our Portuguese speakers here. So in true José fashion, he has 6 rules for life, not 5 like the other coaches. He discusses having empathy for the people supporting you, in other words, the fans in the stadium, and preparing for the worst case scenario. So in his opinion, if you prepare for the worst, you are able to handle whatever it is that you have put in front of you. Here's some pretty colorful stories about hiding in a laundry basket when he was banned from a particular game in the UK. Well worth watching. Equally, he has talked about being strategic about when to attack, where he mentions listening to the stadium, as I mentioned before. And I noticed many coaches mention the advantage of being an underdog.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, he also tells us a story of breaking the rules after his suspension when he was a coach. He ended up being in the bin for the sake of supporting his team. José has a pretty cold point of view around opportunity, and his fifth rule essentially represents that the same opportunity doesn't come around twice. So how are you incorporating those in your team to be better and not just to be there as well? And so that is all from us today. Thank you so much for watching. We look forward to seeing how you continue to impact more lives with some of these resources, and tune into our close friends as well. And will reach out to us if you aren't already in that for some more details around the first 15.
And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And good luck impacting the most lives as you on the journey to join the first 15. Ciao for now.